I'm a different woman now. Don't be ashamed of me. I got offers from both Emirates and Qatar when I was so young.
Oh.
But I couldn't join because my boyfriend at the time made decisions for me, you see.
Hi, I'm Koya.
Hello, I'm Momo and welcome to the
Episode
of the KOMO show. We don't know about the episode.
We're not counting.
We're not counting. Don't count.
Don't count. Yeah.
Before that, do you want to tell them that we are sorry that we took a little time this time to come back to you guys?
Is it?
Yeah, and that's and the topic today has a lot to do with that. We are talking about
our careers.
Yeah.
So we thought it was just really interesting because now we're in our 30s, we finished our 20s, and as we're heading into the next decade, we thought it'd be really fun to like do a small introspective kind of journey into what that's been like to navigate as two millennials today. So we thought we'd talk specifically about the 20s, the 30s, and the 40s, and past, present, like future. So
what we have done, what we are currently doing, what our future goals are, and everything that went into it, you know, whatever we think makes sense, could make sense to all of you.
And hopefully we will cover like macro things that most of y'all can relate to, because I think it's just really, really important for young women to have some kind of mentorship in this area, because it's not easy. Why don't you start and tell us about your, like, what were you looking for in your 20s when it came to your like career? I know your career started way earlier than that.
Very, very soon, right? Because see, initially when I started my career, I didn't know I was going to start my career. I was that young. I was like 18 years old and I finished my PUC and I just had to earn to go to college because my parents had to take a loan to send me to Bangalore to study, to send the money, and I had to pay that money every month because my parents couldn't afford it. So my career, like I wasn't necessarily in my head always knew in terms of what, I didn't see myself as somebody who will maybe get into a job or, you know, I never even had those thoughts. I was 18 years old.
Right. So but
I needed money.
No, but what, you know how kids come up with like, I want to be a this.
Oh yeah, for me, I think the kind of jobs that I thought of initially, I wanted to be a cabin crew. I remember that very, very well.
That's really cool. Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to be a cabin crew, or I just wanted to get into like something to do with fashion and beauty, you know. I wanted to either do fashion designing or I wanted to learn styling. Something in fashion for sure, because I loved it. And I always would tell my dad I want to be a cabin crew, or like
I can see you as a cabin. That's really cool.
Right,
that's a really fun start. You get to travel. It's everything you like.
And I think I'm fit for it.
Yeah,
like, and I'm good at my communication. I look presentable, so all of that. But that is what I wanted to do. The reason I couldn't do it, that's an important topic, right? This is so shady. I got offers from both Emirates and Qatar when I was so young.
Oh.
But I couldn't join because my boyfriend at the time made decisions for me, you see.
And
he didn't allow me.
Wow.
I am saying this is so, now I'm a different woman now. Don't be ashamed of me. I'm a better woman now. But anywho, I at 18 needed money to go to college, to pay off the loan that I took to go to college. So I had to join something that was going to pay me the money. This is 2007 I'm talking about. And at that point, call centers, BPOs, MNCs, whatever you call it, they were big in Bangalore. So I chose a call center job where you basically are like just a representative, where you take calls and you just route. So on and so forth. Money was great, free food. Cab picks you and drops you. It's safe, decent crowd, air-conditioned office. You have like, it's just, they made it so easy. And I was so that's crazy, right? I didn't make that career choice, but I needed the money, and that was the best thing that was available for me at the time.
That's cool.
Yeah. What did you do? Your first job, or like?
Yeah. So I went to college for a really long time. I went to college for close to 5 years, and I think I was very clear from a really young age that I wanted to be in some kind of art or design school.
Yeah.
So I ended up there, and
oh, that's cool that you knew what you wanted to do.
Yeah, and the fourth standard, I think I was very clear.
Advanced.
I mean, I had some deviations, much to my parents' amusement, but yeah, I kind of ended up where I initially thought I would be, and it was quite cool. So when I was finally in college, I was obsessed with it.
Yeah.
I had an insane attendance, and I used to live across the city. So I was taking a bus and a metro to get there for a 98% attendance. What's up?
Congratulations.
Thanks. It's still one of my best achievements.
No, I know, I feel you.
Yeah, so I mean, I did that, and then when I finally touched the job market, I was like raring to go. So I started out at like a end-to-end, really boutique, really high-end kind of design studio, which used to have a lot of international clients.
Nice.
It was really fun.
What age was this?
It was pretty late. I was 23.
Oh, young.
Is that? You started at what, 18?
No, but still, like, but the 23 is young.
23 is young.
Right.
It is young.
Now that I'm at 35, I'm like 23 is
No, that's
young.
fucking young actually, but that's true. So I mean, yeah, I was really young. I think the 20s are defined by just being very reactionary to things coming at at you. Like things are just coming at you and you're reacting to it.
Yeah.
So you're desperate to prove yourself, and you have to like start putting in that work to build some kind of reputation for yourself. So you're like hungry. You're willing to pull insane hours. No demand is too small.
Yeah.
There's an obsessive perfectionism. I don't know if everyone relates, but as a graphic designer specifically, there's an obsessive perfectionism that kind of overtakes your life. So I think it was a really interesting journey. But one thing I will say, it was quite a shock for me to enter the job market. I felt like it took me a bit of like wobbliness to figure out where I wanted to be, but that's obviously the journey. Like, but definitely what you get taught in college and how a job finally ends up being
so
and for example, Rinima, what you actually end up doing in a day
is so different.
No one tells you, right? Like if there was one installation I would make in my college, it would be this is not real life.
Yeah.
I used to be a very constantly apologizing people pleaser. I think the most I peaked with that in my 20s. So I think sometimes I wondered if that made me look like I wasn't capable of doing the job, because there were like hints of it, you know?
Yeah.
Because I'm apologizing so much over myself that people are just like, wait, can you actually handle it?
Yeah.
You know?
Questioning it.
Yeah, because you're not sounding clear and sure yourself. So I felt like that was a really big thing I took away from my 20s, and also like setting boundaries when things were getting crossed for me was just a huge thing I struggled with in my 20s. But yeah, that was my
2 cents.
General, more than 2 cents. I give you like 50 rupees.
No, but it's always fun to know, you know, like, because I always wondered how it was going to be for fellow like women or girls to like, what are their kind of work experiences could look like, you know, what does career look to you? Like, I remember my teens, let's say, not even 20s. I started at 18, right? And I think I remember being the youngest one in the company, having all the fucking energy and like just giving it all into the job. You don't necessarily have like a big goal that I want to be CEO of the company at that point, because all you're doing is giving your best at the job, because you're so energetic, you're so new, so much energy, and that gives you such a boost. I think that helped me so much to grow so quickly, you know, because that way, I think career-wise, like I said, starting early, I don't even know if it's like that's an advice I'm going to give anybody, but I love it that I started early. Because today I wouldn't be here if I wasn't like, I loved that I was studying business management and parallelly doing it in a company, and that just made so much sense to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, you also have, but saddest part, and I'm sure each one of you get bullied so much in your 20s when you're working, like you're overstretched and you're not fair pay is like not in question, and you at that age don't even know to question it, because you're like, okay, I'm getting this salary, you're so excited, you think that's the best you're getting, and the more time you spend within the company or within wherever your business or whatever you're doing, you start figuring out, oh my god, I'm underpaid, and I never questioned it. And that's what 30s kind of is to me.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
You know, my transition, I think when I came from being, I was like, I grew great. And I think 30s is when I started asking the organization and everyone in life to like, hey, you gotta value me. You know what I mean? I'm a valued employee in the company. I do so freaking much. Like, so I had a stance. I was more stronger. I was more firm. I was more assertive.
Yeah.
So to say.
Yeah, no, I get that. I feel like my latest motto as a 31-year-old working professional has just been attracting and not chasing. Because like I was chasing so hard in my 20s, and there was so much like, I realized if you have something to prove, you become one of the most exploitable people in a room actually. And that's just the sad just the pragmatic reality of how business functions and how capitalism actually works. So it's nothing to take personally, but it's also nothing to like avoid. You have to like face it and decide who you want to be and where you want to be placed in that ecosystem.
So I quit my career of 18 years of corporate just about 5 months ago, and I'm so happy about it, right? It took me 1.5 years to just freaking come to it. You know, I spoke about it all the time. It took me 1.5 years to finally like just say, okay, it's done. I mean, because I think it just comes down to where do I want to spend my time with. I will rather eat a meal lesser. I'm not exaggerating, but you know what I mean. Like, I'd rather eat one lesser meal, but I'm not going to do any kind of work that drains me out or that doesn't make me happy.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
You know, and like, no matter, like, no amount of money, you can kind of...
I feel the same way. Like, money is just going to come and go, and
you
can't get too attached. And I'll tell you one more thing, like, career, money, anything you over-associate your sense of self with, which is not actually you will have a breakup with it.
Absolutely, right?
Because it will leave you, because it's over, because it's gone out of balance with how
my job is my family,
is my life,
honey, that's government. I think my mom was a government employee who worked with the same set of employees for 35 years. I get them saying things like that, like how we are, right? Quit my career. I am like, just imagine, like, I didn't care.
You quit your corporate career.
I quit my corporate career. Sorry, I have to be very specific.
Let's be clear.
That was paying me more than $1 lakh a month. I'm not joking. I was well paid because I started very early. So of course I was in a greater pace cycle, you know. And I wanted to do something that fulfills like my freaking soul, like, where I want to wake up and feel like getting up and going there, you know. And that was my clothing, my finally fashion. Now that's what 33 felt like, and I freaking loved being 33 because I had the tits to just say, okay, I'm gonna let go of this job. I'm gonna start a business from the scratch, not knowing where it's going to go. I mean, of course, yes, I do have a backup. I'm privileged and I know that I have a backup, but I'm saying even if I wasn't, guys, I would have taken some kind of Nari Yojana scheme loans or some kind of thing under Narendra Modi. And I would have just started this business.
I think that's,
Gautam is there, good for me. God wants to bless me, great. However, if he wasn't, I would still go ahead. I would have made this career decision because, you know, like, one life, so short. I just, at 30, I just want to do something meaningful.
Okay, now speaking of like the 30s, I just wanted to ask you, what are our goals for the next decade? Like, what are we seeing for our 40s when it comes to, I mean, even though we're not even midway through our 30s.
Bro, I'm even Forbes 40 under 40. Like, I mean, I think I'm ready. Like, I'm now 35. I'm going towards 36, right?
You know, the best time for startup, like the most successful startups, the founders' ages are between 35 to 40.
Absolutely. This is my peak. Guys, I feel energy, maybe not the 20s energy, but a different kind of energy.
Yeah.
Where I feel I gotta, like, I'm hungry, you know.
Yeah.
Now it's gotta be something that I love doing and I'm also milking money out of it. Like that combination, because now I have 20s and 30s together and it's time. Let's go.
I think that's a great place to kind of
end
this
show
and talk about maybe like one general quote that we can leave them with that's been on your mind. Anything that's
play it
like,
by the ear. Go with the flow. Don't be too harsh on yourself. Focus should be survival and entertaining yourself at the same time. As long as you've got these two in place, sometimes it might not be together. Like, I remember when I did the most boring call center job, my entertainment was going out Friday nights, Saturday nights, and Sunday brunches, and I did it for 13 years in a row because I loved music, I loved fashion, and these are the places I could do all of it. So, you know, so that's important, that balance, like money, survival, as well as your entertainment.
I'm just gonna say, it's always gonna be a different kind of work in progress. That's all. Like, you're always outside the box, inside another box, and then that keeps happening, and it's fun. Like, it ebbs and flows, like she said, and you just have to be adaptable to the changes happening. Don't get too stuck in one thing. Change is never easy, but there's always something so worth it at the end of it. I hope this really helped, and I hope this gave you like a realistic look into how like young, smart, cool women today navigate themselves.
Absolutely. Kick ass, ladies.
Yeah, kick ass. You got
guys,
this.
You will anyways be afloat.
Bye.
Bye,
See
guys.
you
See
next
you.
time.
Adios, amigos. Muchas
Like.
gracias for watching. I'm also learning Spanish, so I'm just flexing a little bit.
Oh, nice.
But don't forget to like, subscribe,
Share.
comment, and tell us what you like and what you
Follow?
do not. Please follow on Instagram.
You have to follow it by
you can also
now, I
follow
think.
us on our Instagrams
Yeah.
for regular stuff.
Yeah.
We promise to come back sooner than this time.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye, you guys.